Hello everyone, welcome to Visit Malta channel. In this video, I am going to talk about VFS Global Checklist for the people who's applying a work visa from United Arab Emirates to Malta. Okay, and in my previous video, I already explained the same video, but we recently got an update from VFS Global. Checklist has been updated. So I'm going to talk about the important update that has been provided by VFS Global for the people who's applying from United Arab Emirates. Okay, and and uh, and I'm going to talk about what is the important update that is required as on 25th March 2022. All right, and if you didn't subscribe my channel, please subscribe my channel. Then only my effort will reach out to you for and getting and you will keep getting your recent update by VFS Global and even in Malta regarding the work visa and working permit and anything related to works. Okay. So please subscribe my channel to get the recent updates. Okay. Now let me show you what is the recent update that has been updated by VFS Global Services. So once you reach into the VFS Global site, you might have to select the United Arab Emirates, and I'm going to Malta and take me to the website, which I have already explained in my previous video of UAE. So you can watch that video. I'm going to directly skip on to the checklist and the requirement. Okay, so visa type, of course, you have to choose Malta work visa long stay. Okay, then only you'll get the right right information. Okay, and the first this is the checklist, the recent updated checklist that is being provided by VFS Global Services for the UAE, whoever is applying from Abu Dhabi and Dubai. Okay, in this checklist also you have to take a print and put the information as necessary. Reference number you can leave it blank, or you can type the reference number of your VFS Global appointment. My recommendation is to just leave it blank. Okay, you can fill it when you going to the VFS at the time of appointment, and you can leave your name and purpose of visit. If you're going for a work, you just type it work and write it work. Okay, and your passport number and group number if applicable, you can add it or else you can leave it. Okay. So first point is completed and signed the visa application form duly filled in English, and this is the visa application form, okay, which you can fill it by hand, and you can download the form under the download form application form in English version, okay. So you can fill this form. That is the first requirement. In my upcoming video, I will explain one by one, step by step, how you can fill this form, okay. So please subscribe my channel to stay tuned for the upcoming video. Don't forget. And the next one is one recent passport photo according to ICAO standard. White background must be recent, not older than 6 months. Okay, so you have to take a passport photography based on the requirement here in this link photo specification. You can check on this information. Okay, and basically it should be 3.5 mm width and 4.5 centimeter height, just 3.5 centimeter, not a millimeter. Okay, so you can follow this specification as I have explained in many videos, so you can take a look at it. I don't want to take your time in this video because this video is mainly for the recent update for the work visa. And the next one is original passport copy of valid travel document, the period of validity of which should exceed that of the visa by 3 months. Okay, so which means your passport should have a validity at least more than a 3 months. Okay, more than 3 months. My recommendation is to have a 6 month validity of your passport. Don't just to go with exactly 3 months, because if the visa is getting delayed, processing time is delayed unnecessarily, you may you may get the rejection by the visa officer, or you may requested to proceed give a new passport. Okay, and the important thing is old passport that are renewed for the last 2 years should be also provided mandatory, which means you have to provide your old passport if it is not older than 2 years. Okay, which means your new passport is renewed and it is not completed 2 years. You have to provide the old passport also. Okay, that is another thing. And this is the very important update that I have noticed, and one of the subscriber also was informed me that we have new recent checklist, and thank you for the subscriber personally. And I believe for this is the important update. Because of this important update only, many of the visas getting rejected recently. Many people was actually left a comment saying that my visa is getting rejected from Abu Dhabi and Dubai and all. So in my old checklist, I didn't see this point, but in the new checklist, I see this point. I guess because of this point only, most of the visa was rejected, but I'm not sure. Okay. So, however, let me explain this point. So, this point is copy of UAE visa and Emirates ID, national ID card. So, you have to provide a copy of your UAE visa and Emirates ID and national ID card. So you have to provide both your visa copy and your Emirates ID and national ID card or national ID card. Okay, that is very important. And other very important is that UAE residents should be working with their employers not less than 8 months. Okay, so this is the point exactly I have created this video. So I actually sent an email to VFS Global Services and confirmed that is this applicable only for the UAE citizens or UAE residents also who is actually come to work in UAE, which means the non-UAE also is applicable for this rule. Okay, so I have asked this question and they confirm it is for everyone, including UAE resident, also a non-UAE resident also it's applicable. Which means if anyone is applying from UAE region like Abu Dhabi and Dubai and many other country which is called under UAE, okay, you have to work in with your current employee at least 8 months. So if you are applying a Malta visa before this 8 month completion of with your current UAE employer, your visa will not be considered and your visa might be get rejected. Okay. So this is the very important update that has been provided recently by VFS Global Service. Of course, this information will be requested by Malta Embassy, I believe. So if you're UAE resident or temporary UAE resident, doesn't matter. If you're applying from UAE region through VFS Global, you have to complete your 8 months working period with your current employer in UAE. Otherwise, you are not eligible to apply a visa for Malta work. Okay, this is a very important update. Okay, that you have to know. And the next one is a letter from the applicant current or latest employee stating how long he has been employment, okay, and what work she or and that employer is aware that the applicant is seeking or overseas. So this is also another important update. When you're applying when you're applying for a work visa, of course, when you're searching for a job in Malta, you have to know your current employer in UAE and make sure you have to get the letter from the latest employer stating how long you are been working with that particular employer and your current employer has to know that you are seeking another job in Malta. Okay, so you have to get the letter to proceed before. That's very important. And the letter also has to be stamped and signed by the employer and with the company letterhead. Otherwise the letter is invalid and they'll not VFS Global Service will not accept the letter. So basically you have to have a smooth relationship with your current employer in UAE and get the proper approval when you're trying to change your job from UAE to Malta or any other country, I believe. Okay. And the next one is confirmed accommodation reservation. I'll come to this point, okay, because there is information in the work category. I'll come to this point. Confirmed accommodation reservation. And next one is confirmed air ticket. If ticket is presented, copy is retained, which means you have to take a copy of the ticket and you have to provide the copy, not the original ticket. But it's fine. You can download it from your email, since most of the airlines will provide you a copy of the ticket to the email only. And the next one is insurance. Insurance, you will have to take a travel insurance which is applicable for international travels, and it should be covered by 30,000 euros. Okay, also should be covered in the Schengen area, so that is very important. And apart from this above very important document, you also have to provide the document for the if you are coming for the work. Since we discuss about completely work, I'm going to talk about only this work document related information. I'm not going to talk about the studies or a family requirement. Okay. So, the another document is proof of employment in Malta, letter from employer indicating name, address, and telephone number, and the employer, position of applicant, and tenure and duration. Okay, this is also a very important letter, as I have explained in many video. Your the letter from your employer has to be very professional. If it is not professional, professional meaning your employer has to clearly explain the designation and the roles and responsibility and the salary structure and everything. It doesn't have to be one letter. Your employer can be provide multiple letters also. In one letter they can show your job description, in another letter they can mention the salary structure and everything. But it should be professional and professional letter. If the letter is not professional and and the job description is not well explained by your employer, your visa may get rejected. Okay. So, and to check if the letter is very professional and everything and all other documents, we do the services for you to check all the documents before you submit to the VFS Global Service to avoid the visa refusal. But because trust me, if once your visa is refused, you have the chances to appeal, but appeal is really taking time, like it take 1 month to 3 months, sometimes 6 months, sometimes 1 year also. Sometime you may not get the appeal success. By the time your employer also has to be ready to wait for your designation if the appeal is taking time. So my recommendation is to, if you have a confident, go ahead and submit all your document to VFS Global Service, or else please reach us out by providing all the document. We'll check it for you, check it out for you, including the form and everything. And our experienced professional staff will check all your document and information before you submit to the VFS Global Service and provide you advice and if any corrections of any issues in this document, and will give you a proper guideline. Okay, so you can reach us out to verify your document. Okay. The next one is employment license, which is approval in principle letter, working permit letter, approval in principle letter that you have to provide to the VFS Global Service. It's one of the checklist document that you have to provide. And important is should not be more than 180 days from the date of issue, which means you may see the approval in principle letter date. Okay, from the date the letter should be below 180 days when you submit the work visa through the VFS Global. If you see it is 180 days, more than 180 days by the time you got the appointment, my recommendation is to plan well in advance and talk to your employer and get the revised, ask them to request the revised letter from the Identity Malta, okay, with the revised date, okay, to avoid the confusion. Otherwise, you will I believe your application will not be accepted by VFS office. Okay. Another thing is your employer should request another letter that I already mentioned. Expire approval in principle letter will not be accepted. They have mentioned very clearly. So make sure the approval in principle letter is 180 days validity. Okay. And proof of accommodation in Malta, declaration of proof duly notarized along with the copy of the ID card of the host. Okay. So remember, I skipped this point, confirmed accommodation reservation. So because of this point only, I skipped that point. So both the point is almost similar. So you have to provide accommodation by providing a lease agreement, which has been prepared by your landlord, or you can provide the declaration of proof, which is here, declaration of proof form. I have explained in other video what is declaration of proof and how you can fill it, and which part the landlord has to be filled and which part you have to fill, and what is the requirement for the declaration of proof. You can watch that video if you didn't watch the video. Okay. So, and even you can provide a hotel booking as a accommodation proof, okay? Because they just need a proof of accommodation in Malta. It doesn't have to be you have to take a apartment or shared home and sign a lease agreement. So you can book the hotel booking temporarily for 7 days or 10 days or 2 weeks and provide that hotel booking proof also when you apply for a visa, okay? If you are providing hotel booking, you don't need to provide declaration of proof. Just the hotel booking is fine. And and if you provide the lease agreement from your landlord or any other document, you have to duly notarize along with a copy of the ID card of the host, the residence ID card of the ID card. ID card of the respective person. It could be your landlord or it could be your the person who sponsors your accommodation. Okay, so you can provide that with the duly notarized. Okay, if you are going for a hotel booking, it doesn't have to be notarized. You can just simply provide the hotel booking. All right, and you don't need to provide the declaration of proof form also if you are providing the hotel booking. That's very simple and clean if you're providing hotel booking. Apart from all other document, you have to provide other document also with the declaration of proof. Okay, with the notarized. And the last one is actually specifically for the drivers. So applicant with an employment license to work as a driver must provide a copy of the driving license in UAE or international driving license, which means if you're applying for a driver's job here in Malta, you might have to provide a driving license of UAE, or you have to provide the international driving license before you apply a working visa to the VFS Global Services. Okay, these are all the very important revised checklist as I can see from the VFS Global Service. And directly, I am skipping to the last part since the middle is for the study purpose and for the family purpose. Okay. Now, after you submit the visa, it will take 21 days, as they have mentioned it clearly. It will take 21 days to process your visa if you provide all the documents is very clear and eligible. Okay, if you provide any other document that is not very clear and that is not eligible, then it will take time or you will get a visa rejection. Visa rejection. Okay, and here you can leave the remarks blank, or if you have any remarks, you can add a comment. Okay, and you need to sign here, and the date you can add any date, or you can add the date of the day you are going for a VFS appointment. Okay, and VFS submission officer, you can leave it blank. And all visa application must be personally submitted at the visa application center UAE at Abu Dhabi and Dubai. So you can take a book an appointment first, and then you can bring all your document at the time of appointment to the Abu Dhabi or Dubai, whichever center you book their appointment. And if you have any clarification, you can always send an email to them, info at Malta Dubai at vfshelpline.com. Trust me, they are doing very very good services actually. If you have any clarification, you can always reach out to them and get the clarification. Okay. And in my upcoming video, I'll explain how to fill this form if you're applying from UAE. So, because every region the form is different, and so you have to be very careful if you're making any mistake in the form. If it's a minor mistake, they may accept it. If it's a major mistake, they may reject the visa, or they requested to resubmit the visa again. Okay. So please be careful when you submit the form, and if you have any clarification, you can just reach us out by providing a form, and we will fill out the form for you completely, and we will provide you the scanned copy which you can take a printouts. Okay, so please feel free to reach out to us if you need to fill the forms, or any other document check and verification. We have a professional team which they will take care of it, all the completely form fillings works and verify the document before submit to the VFS Global Services. All right, and even including the declaration form, every form will support you to fill out for you. And that's all in this video. Thank you for watching the video. If you think it's useful, please subscribe my channel and share this video and like this video so that it will be reached out to many people who's looking for a job in Malta, and it will really help for them. All right. And if you have any clarification, you can always reach me out at visit to malta@gmail.com, or you can reach me out through WhatsApp by accessing my website visit to malta.com, and I'll provide you the WhatsApp link. Okay. And you can leave the comment also if you have any clarification, right? Thank you so much for watching this video, and good luck.